Hi, we're here with Matthias Moll, who's here to talk about his upcoming classes at the Video Creators Virtual Summit. Thanks for taking a few minutes to chat about your classes.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, first up, let's have you do the quick 30-second elevator version of your background as a teacher.
Yeah, so I'm one of the founders of the company mamoworld, where we, since quite a long time, since over 10 years now, we develop extensions for mostly Adobe After Effects, but also Premiere Pro. And as part of this, I also have been regularly teaching at conferences, showing my tools and workflows involving them, but also other stuff. So I presented at the After Effects World Conference, at Adobe Video World, for example, Keyframes Conference, these kinds of events.
Great. Your first class, now I have to check because there's over 50 classes, so there's no way to remember them all. Your first class is Effortless Automation, creating personalized workflows in After Effects with automation blocks. So tell us a little bit about that class.
This is really the class I'm most excited about because it's also about the newest development from mamoworld, which is automation blocks. It's a tool which allows you to create your own custom automations in After Effects and also in Premiere Pro. So we've got a version for both hosts, but in this session, we will talk about the After Effects version. I see it such that when I started a long time ago with working with After Effects, one thing I loved about it is that it had a scripting engine where you could automate your own workflows. And at that time, this was really like only accessible to very few people, namely people who were not just skilled in After Effects, but also in writing code. And with automation blocks, we tried to open up this up to a much wider audience. So automation blocks is a tool that is effectively two things, namely at the one hand, it's a ready-to-use collection of tools, just one-click tools for all kinds of tasks in After Effects, like set up a new project, one click, it copies a template folder for you, sets up your project, names your compositions, all these kinds of things. For example, or create, if you like, need 100 different instances of a composition where you want to replace texts and images or video files, whatever colors based on a spreadsheet. You can do this with automation blocks. But so there are lots of built-in tools that come with it, and we are covering some of those in the session. But you can also write your own extensions from scratch right inside automation blocks, and you can do that without the need to write a single line of code, because it's based on a block system. So you have got visual little blocks like Lego bricks, more or less, which you can combine and adjust freely. And this allows you very intuitively to automate tedious tasks in After Effects. So if you feel like you have certain repetitive workflows, boring stuff, not the creative part that really makes working in After Effects fun, but this other part, if you've got lots of this, you can learn with automation blocks how to speed this up, how to save a lot of time and really focus on your creative efforts. And this is what this session will be all about.
Well, that sounds really interesting because I know in any program I use, anytime someone talks about scripting, my eyes kind of glaze over and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to, I'm like the least furthest away you could possibly be from anyone who writes code or programming. So I'm sure people will appreciate the ability to automate things without worrying about scripting. Now, your other class is called Easy Keyframing Techniques with Free After Effects Plugins. So what kind of things are you going to be talking about in that class?
Right. In this session, we look at 3 tools I developed over the years. And these are all, they have exactly 2 things in common. Namely, one, they are all free, so you don't need to buy them. Some of them are like freemium products where you have a free version and also a premium version, which can do more. But in this session, we really focus on the free versions and show that with those, you can already do very useful things. And the second is both are about keyframing. So like the bread and butter stuff you need in After Effects and which becomes much easier with these tools. So the first tool we look at will be Easy Bounce. This is a super easy, like physics simulation tool where you don't really feel that you're using a physics simulation. It's like give the tool a rough path where maybe something should bounce into your scene and fly around, and then Easy Bounce will update your motion path such that it looks great. Like give it a crappy version of the move you want to have, and it creates it in a or it replaces it by a physically accurate, good-looking variant of this. So this is just a super easy to use and actually fun to use tool. Then we've got Squash and Stretch Free, which is like a library of animations that you can very easily apply to layers. It's super cool for text animation, and this is also what we are going to use it for in this session. And finally, we also have Key Tweak, which is a little bit more a technical tool, but one that is super useful if you really need it. And you will need it whenever you've got lots of keyframes. So let's say you tracked something and you've got hundreds of keyframes and need to change something in them. With Key Tweak, you can change all of these keyframes at once. So these are the three free nice little helper tools we will cover in this session.
Well, that sounds great, because I know anytime the worst thing you could happens at a conference is when someone shows you some really interesting technique and then you realize you have to purchase some plugin to be able to do that technique. So the fact that you're going to be showing techniques with a free plugin is fantastic. So thank you so much for that. Well, that's great. Like I said, short and sweet. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk about your upcoming classes.
You're welcome. I'm looking really forward to this event.
Sounds great. We'll see you later.
See you.